Whoa, that's
We got low frames,
I was
Dad.
literally just about to say.
What is that? Is that a TI-80, my boy? You make me proud.
Instead of, yeah, can it run Doom, it's, yeah, can it run Sonic Adventures?
All right.
Sonic Adventures on a TI-84.
Sonic Adventure 2 is
Sonic
not
Adventure.
as good as people say it is.
Controversial opinion.
Listen. I love Sonic. I'm a huge Sonic fan. The two people they won't because they're gonna make a joke out of it, but they can vouch for me. I love Sonic, and I played Sonic Adventure 2 a lot, especially as a kid. It's not that good. It's fine, but it's not. It's way overhyped. Sorry. Sonic Adventure 1 is way better. You agreed with me. Don't tisk at me.
No, I do agree with you, but you know the internet is here, so.
Yeah. Sorry, I have to go with the common opinion. The internet is here.
Yeah.
What is a controversial video game opinion you have?
That Sonic Adventure 2 is overhyped and not very good.
I
And
heard.
What's a controversial video game opinion you have?
That this game is good.
That is also a
It's
fair.
a very controversial opinion.
Actually, I think it'd be more controversial if you said it was a good Star Fox game.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
be more controversial.
Yeah.
It's funny, I heard an interesting controversial gaming opinion recently.
Yeah.
That the Dark Souls games
Yeah.
suck.
Sure.
Can you give an explanation? Is there any context in that statement?
There is specific.
No.
I love how you're just like, I don't care. And
Yeah.
then Michael City, you're like, details, boy.
Yeah. Because I mean, I could go one way or the other with Dark Souls. I could. Oops, sorry. I don't really care.
He
for that
understands like why people love the game for the mechanics, but in terms of the actual story itself, there is
You don't
no
play
story.
Dark Souls for the story. You play it for the gameplay.
series. It's like playing Mario for the story.
Oh, I didn't even make it in the top 5.
Wow.
Like,
Dick is disappointed in you.
That's like saying people play like the Just Cause series for the story.
Guys, I play Super
mean-
Mario Brothers for the plot. It's the
I
same
mean,
thing every time. Which
Depends- I mean, there's some Mario games that you do play
some
for the
have
plot.
interesting plots, but like most of the time it's just save princess, be happy, shut up, eat cake,
Save Princess, be happy, shut up.
eat cake. What's your controversial gaming opinion, Michael?
How do I word this? I believe that all the things that most gamers complain about, about like the current gaming like scene, like the overpresence of video game, just video game remasters flooding the market.
Yep.
Or like Call of Duty fans complaining about like the existence of Call of Duty, or
Sonic
just
fans.
like fans
I'm looking at
who
you.
complain about a game being like this, being like the same rehashed thing over and over again. I believe that all of that stuff is the gamer's fault. I believe it's
Okay.
I believe it's entirely the gaming community's fault, and they don't want to realize that it is their fault, and they don't want to point the finger at themselves, because a video game company wouldn't make a game if it didn't sell.
That's true.
You're absolutely right.
That's true.
Call of Duty wouldn't rehash the same thing over and over again if people kept not buying the game.
True.
You're right.
It is true.
It would stop
and
dead
also,
in its tracks.
people keep asking, and like, here's the thing too. People will ask for the same thing because when they try something new, they're like, "This is stupid. What is this bullshit? This is a bad game. They changed the formula." And then they're like, "What the hell is this? Why is it the same shit over and over again?" Sonic fans.
I don't know, that one's
I'm
kind
in
of a
that
mixed
community.
bag.
I'm allowed to call you out.
I know, but that one's kind of a mixed bag too, because there's also like some games that are like very similar to each other, but there's also some games that are like completely different. I fucked that up.
Well, the thing, at least with like Sonic, for instance, like there's two like types of Sonic fan, or there's 3 types of Sonic fans. There's Boost Formula fans, Classic fans, and then the fans who are just happy to get anything at this point. which that's the group I'm in.
That's me. I am me.
Like, I'm happy with any Sonic game that we get. I'm not really partial to either formula because I think they both work in certain ways. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, why did they do this? They're changing the formula. I'm like, yeah, because they want to take risks because they don't want to do the same thing over and over again because then people will complain. And then they do the same thing, and they're like, what is this? You're just rehashing the same shit. You just can't make anyone happy, unfortunately. I think that's what we're really figuring out here today.
Correct. Do I have the... I can't ask.
Because you see people complaining about microtransactions. Stop buying them.
Yeah.
If microtransactions stop, like, working in games, they'll stop putting them in.
People are sitting there complaining, and at the same time, buying these things they're complaining about.
Yep.
Why are you giving these companies even more evidence to continue these bad practices?
True.
Because clearly it works.
I personally do not think that EA is an evil company. I think EA is doing what makes them money, and there's nothing wrong with doing what makes you money. I think it is entirely the player base's fault for their scummy behavior. Because the player base has egged them on. And they keep giving in.
I could see that.
They sit there and complain like fucking like FIFA is the same game every year. NBA 2K is the same game every year. Madden's the same game every year. Why do you keep buying it every year? Why is Madden 2019 not good enough for you? Why is Madden 2020 not good enough for you? Why is Madden 2021 not good enough for you? Why is 2022 not good enough for you?
Yeah, it's true.
Why do you keep needing the newest game? It's the same deal with like there was like a huge thing when like Battlefield like didn't skip a year and they released like a game immediately after another game.
Yeah.
Because Battlefield was always what it used to be was like, oh, we're the quality shooter game.
Right.
We take 2 years to develop our game. That's what it used to be back in the times of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. That's why people love those games so much.
Right.
But they decided to release. Have you ever heard of Battlefield Hardline?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Yes. I
It's
think that was
one that completely flopped. It came out like a year after Battlefield 4. Floor?
Battlefield 4.
It was the one in between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. Which everyone knows Battlefield 1.
Yeah, because isn't it literally called Battlefield 1?
Well, it's the World War 1.
Right.
Like, everyone loved that game to bits because they took time to develop it and people loved it.
Sure.
But, like... And that proves that the reason why Battlefield 1 was so good is because nobody bought Battlefield Hardline and it taught EA their lesson.
There you go.
If you don't buy shit games, the developers will learn what you do and don't want.
Correct.
It's true.
And another controversial opinion that I have is the idea that good video games need good graphics is an engineered concept.
Yes. I agree with this notion.
Yeah, I think if it has bad graphics, that's fine.
There is, because of the way consoles were advertised and video games were advertised for so long, the younger generations have this idea, and I had this idea, that for a game to be good, it must have good graphics. Because it's always put right front and center as, like, in the game's advertising.
Sure. I have thankfully grown up in a mindset where I'm like, I don't care. It's like, if I like the style of the game, then that's really all I need. I don't need the game to look good. If it stylistically, like, looks interesting, then yay. But it's like, if it looks like a PS1 game, I don't care. As long as it's fun, who cares? It doesn't need to look good. It could look like this for all I care. As long as it's fun, I don't care.
Fun is the biggest factor.
Yeah.
Fun is the biggest factor, but we lost sight of that.
Unfortunately, yes. And that's where indie games came from.
That's the closest we'll...
That's how indie games were born, and that's why we have such good games like Shovel Knight that emulates the 8-bit graphics of the NES.
The 8-bit graphics.
The 8-bit graphics.
I also think the gaming community just complains way too much.
Yes.
Like, like yet again, I keep using Call of Duty as an example because it's like the biggest one.
Sure.
Yep.
It's like you, like shit on it all you want. You can't put the newest version of Call of Duty in front of someone and put them into a multiplayer lobby and have them not have fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a fun gameplay loop, and it's one that works.
It's true.
And like, it's okay if you're not a first-person shooter fan. That's fine. I'm not a huge fan of them anymore. I used to be.
Yeah.
But like, it's dumb fun, and that's what video games are supposed to be.
Yeah.
They're just dumb fun.
Exactly.
It's like, who cares if this video game is not like... I remember Call of Duty World War II, people were like, it's not 100% historically accurate. Like, go, there's so many indie Steam games that make realistic World War II simulators. Go give them business.
Yeah. It's true.
These games die so fast because people don't pay attention to them.
You know what
There's-
the worst part about Star Fox is? It's not historically accurate.
Yeah. A fox jumping on a moving platform in lava? When did that happen?
I'm like, it's your fault for expecting Call of Duty to be 100% historically accurate.
It's true, yeah.
That is...
Like, because, like, there's so many, like, on Steam, there's so many awesome games.
Yeah,
like,
you're
have
missing.
you ever browsed Steam and, like, the indie games and saw all these amazing games with amazing concepts that are dead?
Yeah, I found there's a game called Demon Turf that is it's like the style of Paper Mario, but it's a platformer. It's a 3D platformer, and it's like a collectathon, and it's really fun and it's really well made, and the art style is really good, and nobody's fucking talking about it, and it came out like last year, and I was like, why have I not heard of this game until now? I was playing it in our dorm last year, and I was like, oh, this is fun. They have a sequel already. It's called, like,
Demon Turf 2.
No, it's Demon Turf Neon Splash, and it's like
that sounds cool.
$5. And it's like, whoa, like, this is crazy. I was, like, swiftly reminded of Demon Turf's existence again, because, Sage just happened recently, the Sonic Amateur Gaming Expo. Yeah, and I love that because it's literally just, it's every year they come around, it's a bunch of fan games and indie games, and it's mostly like Sonic hacks and like Sonic fan games, but this year there were almost more indie games and fan games that were original than there were ones for like Sonic specifically. And it's so incredible to like see them all together in this one big collection. I downloaded a shit ton of them, and like eventually I'm gonna have us play a few just to like get them out there and noticed, because they deserve love, because they're really well made. There's one that's called like Buck Up and Drive. It like just came out. It is one of the most, it's like, it's a driving game where you're like, it's like really intense, where you're like driving really fast and you like jump on rails and you start grinding on the rails and you're like, it's so funny. And I was like, this is awesome and hilarious. So support indie games. If you want something specific and niche, go to the indie scene or come to our channel, because we play plenty of them.
Yeah.
One of my least
Stay tuned for
favorite-
Yeek at some point.
Oh, we will play that at one point.
One of
Probably.
one of my least favorite things to see on Steam is a perfectly good game with really good reviews that if you look at the player, like the player count history,
Yep.
you see a massive spike at the beginning and then it just completely died off.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because a big YouTuber
Played it. Yeah, that's true.
and you get an oversaturation of players. The game devs don't know how to handle this many people and this much attention.
Yep. They can't really get accurate data.
They get so much pressure on themselves to, like, these are just small developers and they get so much pressure to do all these things, and then the community's like, shit game, like dead game, and then they just stop playing.
It's so unfortunate because, like, I want to, like, bring attention to all these, like, games and stuff, but then I feel bad because then they have, like, that pressure to, like, succeed in the eyes of, like, the
Lord.
No, that's not what I was gonna say.
I know.
Like,
I'm finishing your...
sandwich?
Yeah.
Please give it back.
I love this game.
Gamers are one of the most harsh, critical audiences I've ever seen. Like, you can have like a perfect game and someone will still find a problem with it,
Yeah, that's true.
no matter what you do.
Nothing's perfect, but like even then.
Well, it's like movies, right? There is no perfect movie.
Except for The Room.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
There's like
Right. Mr. Wiseau really threw it out of the park. I completely forgot.